Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper coming to you from the back of a Toyota pickup truck because nobody ever shoots guns out of the back of those. Anyway, I just wanted to have a conversation about setting new standards. It's something that we definitely need to at least consider here in the preparedness community. And it's based on a recent video I put out where I was talking about not carrying small guns anymore, which was a personal choice and a personal philosophy that I was sharing with everybody. I'm not telling you what to do. I just give you my thoughts as to where I'm at regarding preparedness, so that's what we do here on this channel, right? But in that video, there was a point I wanted to drive home about setting new standards regarding better than nothing, right? And at this point in time in our history and the way the world is going, is better than nothing a standard we really want to operate with? And that's something you have to ask yourself, and I want to give you some examples as to why that might not be the best way to approach things moving forward. Now, I do want to mention that Midway USA is the biggest supporter of the channel, and thanks to them, I can get into the back of a Toyota pickup truck, shoot 300 blackout at 50 yards, and get a new zero. So big thanks to Midway USA. Now, why am I getting a new zero? So we got an EOTech EXPS3-2 here, which has 2 dots inside of the bullseye reticle, which allows me to have some bullet drop compensation. And I found that the original 30-yard zero I was working with just didn't line up as well with those bullet drop compensation marks as I would have liked. So I went back to the drawing board, found a new zero, which is going to be 50 yards, which will actually work much better for the cartridge that I'm choosing for this particular gun. Now, this gun is for home defense primarily, and also for night things, which I do like doing from time to time. That being said, I could have left it at the 30-yard zero. It was definitely better than nothing, right? I could have left it there. I was easily still going to be on target within a short distance, within 100 yards, still hitting a man-sized target, no problem at all. But it didn't really make things as beneficial for me as they could have, in the sense of using the actual bullet drop compensation that this reticle allows for. And now at this 50-yard zero, I can get on target at 50 yards and at 250 yards with this particular 300 blackout loading, which is the Federal Fusion 150 grain bonded soft point. Well, on the second bullet drop compensation dot inside the reticle, it puts me right on at 250 yards. So I know exactly where I'm going to be at by using the reticle for the way it was intended for, not to mention the crossover between supersonic and subsonic and everything else. But I could have left it at 30 yards, and that would have been better than nothing, because I still would have been on target within a certain distance. So why waste my time and why waste ammunition making it better or enhancing my zero, right? Because that's the standard I want to hold myself to, because I want things to be set up for a purpose and to do as good of a job as they can if that scenario ever arises where I need this to do the job that it was intended for. And that's what you really need to consider moving forward. Better than nothing can be applied to anything regarding preparedness too, not just firearms, right? So for example, you'll hear this all the time, right? Well, I have a week's worth of food and that's better than nothing. And I 100% agree with that statement. But is that all you want to have? Of course not. You'd like to have more food, and having 2 weeks worth of food would be much better than 1 week. And it's not that much harder to accomplish than 1 week worth of food would be. So why are we trying to stand by the standard of better than nothing when it comes to other aspects of preparedness? I don't think that it's a good concept to utilize at this point in time based on the threat level and everything else that's going on in the world. You could literally say that a Pop-Tart is better than nothing when it comes to food storage, right? You could say that. Technically, you're accurate. Okay, well, SHTF happened. Now what? I ate my Pop-Tart. Okay, now what do? 30 minutes later, I'm still hungry. Yeah, how's that better than nothing working out for you at this point in time, right? So if that's your standard, I guess you're okay with that. But it shouldn't be your standard. It's definitely not my standard. And we should hold ourselves to higher standards than just better than nothing. And that's kind of one of the points I was trying to drive home in that video that maybe got lost in the sauce because of all the other interesting data points surrounding the fact that I can't shoot tiny guns apparently, right? Which, I mean, hey, I just showed you all where I was at with that. And yeah, was it a little embarrassing? Sure. But you know what? So is posting YouTube videos sometimes. So whatever, you know? Either way, I don't want to hold myself to better than nothing. And I don't think you should either. And sometimes saving up for something that's actually a lot better than nothing is better than blowing money on something that is just only better than nothing, right? Sometimes it's better to buy something of higher quality or better capability or something that'll bring more to the table, even though it costs more. But spending that extra time saving up for that is going to be worth it, because instead of buying the cheap thing that is literally only better than nothing, Now you have something very useful, very capable, something that'll be of quality and last of a certain amount of time versus the better than nothing item that breaks the first time you try to use it because, it was better than nothing, right? This is just something I want you to consider and something that I was contemplating on and wanted to bring to your attention because I just don't think that that's where our mindset should be at right now. Oh, do you have a group? Well, I got my brother, so that's better than nothing. Okay, 100% it is. It's much better than a lot of people have when it comes to being a straight up lone wolf. But is that better than nothing actually a group? Well, no, it's not. You still don't have a group. You still don't have anything if you're comparing it to the concept of a group. And so you can't use better than nothing to compare it to something that it's still not, right? A group is not two people, unfortunately, but that's just the case, right? So if you want to have a group, you got to have more than two people. One extra person's not better than nothing because you're still at nothing. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to convey here. Don't hold yourself to such a low standard. You can do better, and so can I. We can all do better, right? So instead of having better than nothing, have something good. And if you only have better than nothing right now, mark that down on a list and say, okay, this thing is only better than nothing, so I need to improve in this area. And then move forward from there. I feel like that's a reasonable plan of action. But let me know in the comments what you think about it, because if you want to apply this to anything else, you can. And listen, when it comes to, for example, the budget-friendly AR-15s, the video on whether or not they're good enough for SHTF, right? Well, a lot of people immediately just came out and said, yeah, they are, right? And it's like, okay. I mean, there's some things that I would like to upgrade on mine to make it more reliable and last longer into the duration of an SHTF event. But if you're okay with the way it is right now, I guess that's fine. But those same people will tell you that a Ford truck is a piece of crap and you can only drive a Chevy, right? Well, a Ford truck is definitely better than nothing, just like that budget-friendly AR-15 was considered to be. But for some reason, a Ford truck's not good enough for you, even though it turns on and drives and gets you from point A to point B. But the cheapest bottom-of-the-barrel AR-15 is. I mean, you have to have some level of standards, right? So standards are important to have. And then understanding your limitations based on budget and based on everything else related to it is fine as well. But at least set your goals towards something that meets your standards rather than just setting a goal to have something that's better than nothing. Can I beat that dead horse any further? Probably not. Do I want to? Probably. Will I? No, I think you get it. So, listen, I just like to bring these thoughts to the table and give you something to think about. If you need anything else from me, go to magicprepper.com. And besides that, it's going to be it for Magic Prepper.